I was just reading an article, and I read an article today, and I listened to a couple TED Talks today, and something just struck a chord with me where I'm listening to all these companies and all these people, and everybody talk about how diverse they want to be and how inclusive they want to be, diversity and inclusion, emerging technologies. But the hard thing about all of this is people don't want to change. They get stuck in their ways, and basically it's all comes down to their mindset. It's all about your mindset. I mean, if you're stuck in that mindset, it's like trying to adapt technology. There's an unconscious bias. Unconscious bias correlates with both of these topics: diversity and technology. The unconscious bias of technology is a lot of people, when you get some people say, oh, I'm not entering my credit card number over the phone or on the computer. Well, when the company or the banks process anything, how do you think they're doing it? On the computer. Technology is the same way. I mean, diversity is the same way. If you grew up in rural America where you might have only seen black people on TV, then you might only understand what you see about black people on TV. Same is true with black people. I know plenty of black people that have never left their city. I mean, the city may comprise of 30 miles, period. But they've never left their city. They only know their city. So they have an unconscious bias. This is what I'm calling it. They only know about the outside world from what they've been groomed, taught. Just, something to think about. I grew up in the DC metropolitan area. Very diverse. I can mingle in with anybody pretty much. I know people, Hispanics that are way darker than me, Indians that are way darker than me. I know this for a fact because I went to school with a lot of people. Performing arts, humanities schools. But to say, it's a melting pot. And then these were my informative years. From, 3 months old until I was 15 years old. And so I've always been told that you learn pretty much, those are your informative years. So fast forward, at 15, I moved to a predominantly white area. In my eyes. In my eyes, coming from DC, where it was like 95% black. To going to school where you knew what being a minority is. I mean, it was a nice group of black folk, but in the schools I grew up with and had to go to and went to, we only had the student union. We didn't have to have the black student union. But when I came to Ohio, sure enough, we had the black student union. Hey, it's just some things that you grow with. But I grew up with all types of people. It was all one union. Everybody was one happy little group of folks. In my eyes, because that's all I had known. And there were a couple white kids in our school. One was from Poland. I'll never forget, Robert Fritz. He was a little white kid in school. But he wasn't from the United States, he was from Poland. So, it just tells you, you never know. But he was a cool white dude. For a kid, he was a kid. But Just to think about it. All of that stuff ties in together. You know, so if you want to talk about diversity and inclusion in one realm or in a total spectrum as a whole, corporations wide, industries wide, construction, I mean, hospitals, pick it. But at the same time, same thing where, for example, construction. I work in the construction industry, trucking industry, where people are used to doing what they're used to doing. Who would have ever thought? Yeah, I watched the Jetsons too, but autonomous vehicles. I mean, the rate we're going in now is who's gonna need Uber in 20 years when they're gonna just have cars that just drive around and run around and do what you need. Most people get Uber so they don't have to drive. I was watching iRobot. iRobot came out way back in the day. So I say way back in the day, like 10 years, gotta be 10, 15 years ago, iRobot came out. And the Audi that they showed that Will Smith was driving in iRobot is still not on the market. And if it is, it doesn't float. At least not yet. But there is a way. Those prototypes are leading into the things that we are utilizing in our everyday lives now. I mean, you have machines that you can just, on your phone, coffee pot comes on. Okay. They got smart plugs. So, this is what this means. You have to plug your smart plug into the stupid plug. That's the one that has the electricity. Stupid plug. That's where all the magic happens. But the smart plug has the better name. It's the smart plug. It's going to attach some type of device where, guess what? Now you don't have to get off the couch to go, like, turn on the light. I forgot, you got Alexa and those type of things. But that's just my little quick vent. But at the same time, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, change is hard. And then when you're not accustomed to something, it's even harder getting adapted to. But that's all I got right now. Peace.